YouTube. Are you guys excited to be here today? Yeah. Awesome. It's a little bit early, I know. Today we have YouTube Gaming and FunHaus, and I worked with these guys in their previous jobs, so I saw their growth on our platform firsthand, and it's really exciting to see you guys here with so many fans. I wanted to introduce our moderator today. So we have John Lee moderating this panel today, Jay Leezy, amazing beatboxer, by the way. We should definitely get him to beatbox at some point during this panel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He hates me now. John Lee, come to the stage. You're going to moderate this. Guys, have fun. Thank you so much for being here, and let's enjoy it.
Hi, everyone. As Alex mentioned, my name is John Lee, and I'm an account manager at YouTube Gaming, and I get to work with great creators like FunHaus. So this isn't about me, it's about them anyway, so we'll just move right on. So let's do a quick introductions. Going down the row here, love for you guys to say your name, what do you guys do at FunHaus, and also your favorite character on Overwatch. I know you guys love Overwatch. Just name it, because we have a follow-up question after that, too.
Okay, all right.
My name is James Willems. I am a lead producer at FunHaus, and my favorite Overwatch character today is Winston, but I could change them all.
He just bought a skin, that's why.
He looks like a safari.
My name is Lawrence Sontag, lead editor of FunHaus. Favorite character, Mercy? I'm gonna say Mercy. I know. Brave. I'm so brave, thank you.
My name is Elise Willems, and I'm a producer and editor at FunHaus. My favorite Overwatch character is Mario. I really like his outfit. I like what he does with pipes. I don't really play much Overwatch, to be quite honest.
Hi, my name's Adam Kovic. I'm an executive producer over at FunHaus, and Farrah.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. My name is Bruce. I'm executive producer at FunHaus, and I'm Reaper all the time. I main Reaper. All I do is play Reaper.
Yeah, but what about in the game?
So if you want to play the Overwatch with me, then I'm going to be Reaper, and that's it.
And he's going to be the only Reaper. If there's another Reaper, he just refuses to play.
I just don't play.
Bruce is going to cosplay later at the Hot Topic as Reaper.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's kind of a
you must hate
Joker
your
Reaper
dad.
hybrid. He gets Reaper tattooed on his forehead. He has to get it lasered off the next day. It's weird.
I'm Matt Peak, producer editor, and I'll go with Soldier 76.
Yeah. Just like a dad.
That's a good pick. Tough crowd. That's a good pick.
Peak is Sombra.
There's actually code in Peak's beard that will lead you to Sombra.
So actually, the follow-up question here, we're going to play a quick game as an icebreaker. Growing up, you guys might have played this game, Kill, Marry, Hookup. We'll play the PG version of this, Kill, Marry, Cuddle. And in terms of characters, we're going to do the catalog of Overwatch. So I'll start with it. I thought about this. So probably Kill. I thought about this. Regular Sunday afternoon. Character I'll probably say Kill, dislike the most, is Bastion. Playing against him is probably the worst.
He's not even alive.
I was going to say, did you watch the short, you heartless monster?
I know. To be fair, I actually have not watched Wall-E yet, so I know there's a lot of people saying hey, there's similarities. Might be a reason why I don't like Bastion that much. Character I probably like is Diva. I'm Korean, she's Korean. Good times. And then I think the one that I marry is probably Junkrat. I feel like it's a character just not understood well, and he just needs a little bit of love.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about we start off this side?
We don't allow individual thought at
That's
FunHaus,
true.
so we could probably group together and answer this collectively.
That's how it works.
We kill Reaper, he's already dead.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So-
He's already died once.
That's good, so no guilt.
Also,
Yeah.
I think we can agree that May is a cuddle master.
Yeah.
Ooh,
We'll
May's a
cuddle
good
up on
cuddle.
that, May.
Yeah. A good, thick, warm...
What about Tracer? What about Tracer cuddle?
Marry her.
She's a little bone.
I don't marry Tracer.
You see that butt? That's not bone.
It was Zarya.
It's hard to tell how much of that is a pop. Like, she's wearing those pants. There might be some booty pop.
I think
going
you
on.
marry Winston because he's a
He can
loving
protect you.
monkey.
Oh.
He's got a place on the moon.
We should kill Hanzo because he's worthless.
Yes.
Just the people who pick him. We need a healer. Yeah, but you're Hanzo. He's like,
Yeah, heal
then,
me.
Then he just runs out there and gets shot in the head. Oh. Well,
So the answer to all three is Lucio.
Okay. Down with that. All right, well, let's start off then. So you guys have a unique name, FunHaus. Let us know where that name come from, FunHaus.
well, a long time ago, Bruce and I were thinking about leaving the previous job, and we were just trying to come up with names. And I always thought the word funhouse, not the way it's spelled, but like an actual funhouse, kind of described what we are more than Inside Gaming, because we weren't exactly like, I mean, we all play video games, but it was ended up becoming more about the comedy, especially when James came on board. So I don't know, and I like this one ice cream place called Cool House. I was like, that's a cool way of spelling things. And so then we just pitched that, and that was, we pitched a bunch of ideas to Bernie and Rooster Teeth, and Matt and Bernie at Rooster Teeth, and that was the one they went with. Their second one was Dude Soup. They really liked that one, but that's why it's our podcast name.
The third one was Boss Loaf.
Boss Loaf was awesome. I love that. I love that name, Boss Loaf.
We had a pretty good doc going for a while there. It's like when you name a band in high school, but you don't actually play any instruments. It's kind of what it felt like.
It's like the butterfly effect. Like if things had slightly changed, like this guy would be wearing a shirt that said Boss Loaf on it.
All right.
And no pants, just because.
Yeah, I know.
And that
It was
reality.
also policy.
It was a fun discussion too, like the first early days with full screen and like going through with the legal department of like, well, who owns Funhouse? And it was like took about a week, and they're like, yeah, no one trademarked this thing. Like, there's a DC villain named Funhouse. Did you know about that? I'm like, I had no idea. It was like Batman Brave and the Bold. I was like, wasn't following it, and they were like, well, crap, we need to trademark this. So yeah, now Rooster Teeth officially owns the trademark for Funhouse, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But there was the Twitter. Someone had the Twitter.
Oh,
Funhouse.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
It
right.
was like a
Reason
barber
for
shop
Funhouse.
or something.
It was a jewelry consignment store in New York.
Yeah.
And they hadn't used their Twitter account in years. And then after we started about a week, they put out one tweet in all caps that said, "This is not a video game channel."
So we said neither are we.
We're gonna take over your jewelry shop. Take everything from you.
Cool. Well, I'm sure everyone here is big fans of Funhouse, but for those that aren't, you guys sent me a quick clip in terms of I asked you what kind of encompasses you guys. So I want to play a quick clip here.
Hey Lawrence, have you seen the Witch Hunter, whatever?
Not yet.
Last of the Witch Hunters?
So you can't rent
The
the
only,
The only way to watch it is Vin Diesel comes to your house and watches it with you. You think he would? And he explains every part.
he walks me through it.
At any point he sees your eyelids start to fall, he goes, no, so.
So this part when I had a sword.
I know,
That beard, that's not my real beard.
Yeah.
He doesn't even watch the movie though. He watches you watching.
yeah. Well, he says, ignore me. I'm not here.
I'm not here. I just want to watch you watch my movie. That's all.
make sure.
I did 7 takes of this. Sorry, I'll drop back. I won't talk. This magic is CG. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
You know I'm bald by choice.
I'm sorry. I'll sit over here.
There might be something after the credits. I don't want to ruin it.
You just watch.
I'll sit
Watch.
back.
This is my co-star from Triple X. I'm sorry. I'm going right down.
Ice Cube isn't as nice as he seems. I know. That's it.
I really like Dungeons and Dragons and play video games, but never mind. Just
Movies
keep
are
watching.
getting used to me.
Just
That's
watch the
it.
movie.
That's
Keep
it.
watching.
No more, nothing else.
I have a lot of questions to ask you at the end of the movie. I'm not going to ask you right
Don't worry
now,
about
but
it.
would you see a sequel?
I have this clipboard. It has a little survey on it. If you could fill it out, you don't have to do it right now.
You want to see a sequel to Last Witch
What's your
Hunter?
favorite minute of Last Witch Hunter?
Did you think CG was good in Last Witch Hunter?
How is the beard's believable? Would you say Vin Diesel is a nice guy?
That's the last question.
Looking. What'd you put for that last one? Nope. Privacy.
Don't tell me. I know it's supposed
That's
to be
right.
private. It's supposed to be a secret survey.
Don't put your name on that, but could you just write your name down so I know who it's from?
Maybe put your email, but not your name. I
Don't worry about
apologize.
it.
Iron Giant 2
Anyway,
or more
enjoy the
witches.
movie.
The survey, but all the answers are written in already.
I am Groot.
Forget it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to.
Because I was Groot.
Oh
Wow. Right in there.
They're not nearly as friendly as Vin Diesel.
Here comes the rocket.
Not a lot of people know this, but I only make Fast and the Furious to make Riddick movies so that Riddick can pay for witch hunters.
What the fuck am I?
That's a Phil Pyramids. What I really want to do is Last Witch Hunter 3.
I came from the streets.
I know we haven't made the second one yet. I really want to make that third one.
It's, it's originally supposed to be quintilogy.
You say you can't get the 3 without doing 1 and 2, so here we are.
At some point, you're watching it. Looking at his phone. He's like, oh, I just saw a viral video of myself. Someone on my Facebook said something hilarious. It's with my buddy, the director of Last Witch Hunter. He just texted me something funny about the movie I totally forgot about. You want me to tell you?
Can I tweet your quote and actually quote you on Twitter? Is that
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
Oh, no, I won't do that. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
How much would you pay for a Last Witch Hunter movie ticket? $10 or $12? Do you want it in 3D or not?
I thought this movie should have been in 3D, but we didn't film it in 3D, so afterwards we put it in 3D.
Oh, crap, I'm getting a private number.
Private.
Cancel that shit.
Yeah. Cancel?
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. That was Vin Diesel.
He's like, I know.
Hey, you talking about me? I don't want to interrupt your gameplay, but
I think I didn't put it on GTA mode. So I actually get an easier race than you asshole.
That's fine.
there's no weapons.
Yep,
Thanks,
Oh.
Urban. Hey, thank you for clarifying.
No wonder you're doing so well.
We're doing a Vin
Yeah.
Diesel bit over here, but you got in there.
Everybody loves Vin Diesel,
What the fuck happened to my car?
Especially Vin Diesel.
especially Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And, would you be my Facebook friend? But don't actually be my Facebook friend. I'm just asking. I want to see if you would.
On a scale of 1 to 10, can I borrow $5?
No, I need a few more months money first. Last Witch Hunter. Can you give me
Much money.
If I did a Kickstarter Patreon, would you?
What kind of perks would you like for a Watch Window?
Does the idea of Riddick inside Witch Hunter universe entice you?
Find the two of them to be Fast and Furious as well.
You know they're the same universe. So you know Groot's a small potted plant? That wasn't my idea.
What would you want to see, Witch Hunter 4 or Pacifier 2?
That's strange. Paul's not thinking about it. Oh, I forgot he's dead. Anyway, enjoy the movie.
You want to hear me sing Wiz Khalifa? You see my Snapchat? I Snapchat Last Witch Hunter 3 clips.
I was Groot.
Shoves a flyer in your hand for the XXX marathon, except it's just XXX. Like, there was another one. No, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't. That was starring Ice Cube. He's my friend, but not really.
Please like this page. We're coming up on yellow card. We really want to beat them.
And we're done.
We were done a long time ago.
Oh, man.
So I picked that clip because I think it sort of embodies how, like, every once in a while you watch one of our videos and go, oh yeah, you're playing a video game.
I was watching that and I was thinking if people don't know us, they're just more confused.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think kind of a natural transition to this is kind of like your origin story. There's no natural transition to that. I just made that up. But we kind of know. It kind of be great to know, like, how did you guys all meet, and how did you guys start off?
It was on the set of Fast and Furious 2.
We were what they call conceptual racists, so we would.
Racist?
Yeah, it's a confusing term, but we would basically imagine the races and draw them on dry erase boards. Long story. Anyway,
Still don't know which
Bring
way
in the
to say it.
racists, yeah. As they say on set.
I guess the longest one who has been associated with the brand that we've all worked on is Adam. So I guess you can start.
It was Peak and I have been about the same time. I mean, if you want to go way back, Peak used to live in my wife's garage.
He still does.
No, my wife and Peak were, they went to the same college, which recently just got shut down. So, you know, Peak, you're a survivor.
Oh, his degree is void.
Yeah, pretty much.
We have to fire
Oh,
him.
that could be a good plot. Peak goes back to high school.
He gets a pay cut.
There's no college to go back to.
But yeah, Peak and I always we stayed in touch a little bit. Like, he went and worked on Robot Chicken for years, and then I went to a company called Machinima. And then once the show I was working on was getting bigger, I was allowed to hire people. I brought in one editor, and then later I brought on Peak. And then after that, it was just kind of spinning the wheel for a while. And then Bruce came along.
Well, you had Lawrence. So Lawrence was like kind of, Lawrence, what were you doing in those interim years?
Writing words for whoever would pay me. So in, I think, late 2009, there was a push for Inside Gaming to become an editorial entity.
Yeah.
And as such, they needed a bank of reviews to get on Metacritic. So they just started paying freelance writers to write all sorts of reviews. And I was one of them. So I was just cranking out shitloads of reviews that no one ever read.
It was a weird separation, though, because, like, Lawrence and I more or less worked in the same department. We didn't really work together until we did a few videos together. And I was like, oh, Lawrence is a funny guy. There's one video, I don't think anyone's ever seen it, but we did one called the P90 Xbox workout.
Oh,
It was like an
yeah.
E3 skit.
Oh, yeah.
And Lawrence is just spitting up chips and, like, vomiting
that smell.
Mountain Dew, and it got like 10,000 views. I was just like, dang it.
Debasing yourself doesn't always work on YouTube.
Yeah.
It just usually works.
The machinima that Lawrence and Adam did, I always thought was really funny because they did the headbobbing stuff with Halo, but they would do gaming news in it. And I think I watched a couple, 2-3 episodes of those, and they're really funny. If you go back and actually find those episodes,
Lawrence is really good at improv, whether he knows it or not.
I don't know it at all. I wasn't improv.
He did some improv at the last PAX, so maybe he'll do some at our booth this time around.
Lawrence improv's the best.
was terrified at the thought.
Yeah, but also beyond that, Bruce and I worked pretty closely at Attack of the Show at G4 many, many years ago. So that's how he and I came to know each other. Adam was there as well, but didn't work within our department, so we didn't really interact with him at all.
I was there for a few, I think maybe a few months while Bruce and I were both there, and I don't think we ever met, but there is a video of the TV show G4TV.com's last episode, and Bruce and I are on either side of the stage waving goodbye. But then, yeah, it was kind of weird. It's a very small industry in LA to be working in media, so it's like chances are you're going to run into the same 6 people over and over.
So it's two like parallel paths, basically. James and I kind of moving along at G4, and then Adam, Peak, and Lawrence moving along at Machinima, and we all kind of met up in 2013 when we had basically Adam, me, and Joel. I hired James, and then obviously Elise just came on recently with us. So then that's kind of how we all sort of coalesced all together. Basically at Machinima, except we didn't have Elise, which I guess I'm sure Elise is very happy about that you weren't there at Machinima. But,
I guess. I don't have stock options.
That's true. Yeah, so that's kind of how like we all sort of came together as a group in 2013. We've been together now, what, 3.5 years? Jeez, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
What anniversary is that? Is that gold? What do we get?
That's diamond.
Diamond?
Yeah, we all get diamonds.
You get the Starbucks cup anniversary.
He does care.
Yeah. I want that ice, though. Give me that.
Oh, okay.
Great. So, great. So, question for you. You guys, individually, you guys have great personality, but you guys definitely have a chemistry as a group. What do you like being about in a group as a YouTube creator?
Staves off the terrible loneliness.
That's not true. That's not true.
Only for a little bit. I think the reason that we came together is because we have similar work ethics and similar senses of humor, so we make each other laugh. We have the luxury of hanging out with our friends all day at work, which barely makes it work, even though it is work. It's kind of weird, the trade-off. But it's liberating because it's in the same way that the people you work with are your stress relievers and help you laugh. They also drive you to do better because they'll come up with cool stuff, and then you feel a gratitude for being around that and want to equal that. So it kind of drives you to do more and put in a little more effort to try and you basically want to impress your friends. And that's a really good motivator.
We also all have different specialties. Like all of us try and have a base knowledge of everything, but none of us are the best at any of that, all of those things. And so it's the kind of thing where we work in a situation where if I don't know something, I can walk to Elise and go, hey, how do you do this?
And I will direct you to Matt Peak.
She knows exactly where to send me. But yeah, it's like stuff like that. Like honestly, on the post side of things, it's like we really want to make like a graphic package, an animated thing, and we're like Adam's like, well, I can figure it out, kind of, but Matt Peak's like, I know how to do it. So then it's like, I'm saying I have 0. Adam has 5, and Peak has 9 in terms of knowledge.
It's like
10.
a physically disabled Voltron
Yeah.
asking the different parts of the body for help
Yeah.
while the monster's just staring at him like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's one of those things, though, like when you're in college, or I guess in high school, they do group projects. The more you do those, the more you realize working in a group is really, really important versus working alone, unless you're like a genius. And obviously, none of us are geniuses. So it's really, except for maybe James. James making that genius face.
I challenge you to chess.
So that's it's just really good for you to learn how to work in a group and learn how to kind of bounce ideas off each other. Because in my opinion, collaboration is the I guess the mother of invention. Because things just get better when we all get together and work. And that's kind of the way the world is, in my opinion.
It's kind of down to the individual usually. I mean, some people work really well by themselves and they kind of have people gravitate towards them. They're kind of those personalities. I don't think any one of us are on that level, and we work much better as I don't think any one of us really is bigger than the group. No one, I don't think any one of us could leave and be like, I'm going to go be my own PewDiePie. And it's like, probably not. I think we work better together. But at the same time, I grew up with friends who all we did was make each other laugh and come up with cool ideas, and they wouldn't do shit. It was like, all right, guys, you ready to film? They're like, well, I got a WoW raid going on. It's like, oh, God. So it's like, it is a dangerous path that you can go down if you're trying to work with people, but it's like, trying to squeeze blood from a stone, that sort of thing, where it's like you're working twice as hard to get those people to work at all. Working with people like Bruce and James and Lawrence and Elise and Matt is like, everyone's very motivated. That's hard to find. If you can find those people, stick with them because they're going to be worth a lot in the future.
Yeah, if you're looking to create on YouTube, working in a group format does enable you to kind of like have that safety net too, where like if one of you is going off to do your WoW raid, there are other people there that can still like create videos and make content and make sure that, you know, because we travel a lot and it's nice to have like some people back at the office that are working on things. And so when you have that dynamic and you know you can rely on each other, that's really great too.
Cool. So let's get a little bit more meta. How's it been part of Rooster Teeth family? Group within a group.
I mean, from where we came from, it's kind of about company trajectory, and it's the goals of those companies. If they're not aligned with what you're trying to achieve, then it's going to cause more banging of heads. It's going to cause more frustration. Ultimately, you're going to get frustrated doing your job, even if you're doing it well and it's successful. And I think we kind of went from a place that had a different business plan, a business plan that wasn't necessarily focused on developing the kind of things we wanted to do, to a place that is like gung-ho about building that kind of stuff. They already had tons of examples of successful groups like Achievement Hunter and The Know, and like they had tons of stuff that was like, we need to give these departments power so that way they can create these cool brands and do stuff and just enable those groups to be what they're going to be. And so just transitioning to that has been fantastic. You know, nothing's perfect. There's no perfect fit, even in our own group. You know, sometimes we'll still have different perspectives, but it's like at least we all feel like we're on the same road together. And so that's a huge help for us as creators.
A lot of them are like old friends too, so whenever we see them, like I haven't seen Miles in months, and I saw Miles yesterday and we went to the aquarium together. And it was basically like we just picked up right where we left off. And it's the same with, you know, pretty much everybody in Rooster Teeth. You have an immediate rapport, and that's very, very hard to find.
It's been good.
It's been good.
It's pretty good.
I guess one last thing to add to that is just it's very nice to be at a place that you're comfortable, where you're not worried if you're going to get your paycheck or not. So that's always very comforting.
That's true.
But then also a company that will reward you for success. So if you're doing a lot of good things and you say, I want to make a cartoon about a band called Sex Swing, they go, yeah, let's talk about that. Rather than, shut up, we need to make more like superheroes fighting each other videos over here. And it's like, all right, well, obviously we're not in line.
Rooster Teeth is also a company that like loves its community and like actively like listens to people in the community and like tries to, whereas other companies will just be like, we know what we're doing. Like they'll follow an executive lead, and this isn't me talking specifically about Machinima. It's like G4 was this way, where they would just be like, we have a great idea for a show. It's about people puking. And it's like everyone is like, that sounds terrible. Everyone below like an executive level goes, this sounds terrible, but then the show gets greenlit and it gets made and it's a failure. It's like that kind of stuff doesn't really happen at Rooster Teeth because they go, I have an idea, now let's run it all the way down to make sure it seems like a good idea, you know, and that's a pretty unique perspective, I think.
That show's called Hurl, in the case you guys want to watch it.
You couldn't actually show the vomit, so they'd have to blur it, negating the point of the show.
It's a great show.
Rest in peace, G4.
Sounds terrible. So let's take a different path here. Now that we know a little bit about who you guys and how you guys came about, it'd be interesting to know, like, what is your guys' thought process when making content? So next question is, how do you come up with new show ideas?
Well, it's basically an intersection of something we want to make, then tempered with what will work in the current media space. And sometimes that means that there's an idea that is really funny and we think is really great. But if we can't find the hook that'll make it work, whether it's based off search terms or there's some shareable aspect of the content itself, then maybe we have to table it or rework it or something like that. So it's mostly just pure creativity is kind of how it starts, is throwing ideas around and then somebody else bounces it back to you and it's a little better and it's a little better. And then after, 10 minutes of making each other laugh, then there's that pause and it's like, wow, we should make that. And then it goes into the gut check phase of would it actually work? Is it worth the time invested? How many people would watch it? And a lot of that stuff is derivative from lessons we've learned by watching analytics for contents we've already made, and then also doing like little atomic tests with other things. So it's a hybridized approach to the two. There's not really a rigid structure there. We have the benefit, I think, of still being small, so we can just kind of discuss it openly and then come to a consensus. But
you can't be rigid. in this environment. That's the thing. You always have to be liquid. You have to kind of go with the flow. So if something's not working, it's not working, and you just have to adjust. And that's actually the beauty of YouTube as opposed to television, is you can literally see, like, if once an individual shows up, like, on camera at the point, you can see viewership drop, and then you go, okay, so people don't like, that person. I'm not naming anyone. It's me. But having those sort of tools at your disposal is just, like, so important for launching new shows and working with it, or just saying, all right, that's canceled, we're done. Didn't do well, so let's move on.
We also have ideas for like larger shows. Like Elise has come up with a really good roast show.
Oh, Rooster teeth.
Yeah. And like that's the kind of show, like when she spits out that idea, like all of us go like, yeah, that would be really fun. But we need these people, and we need this, maybe this set or something like that, and this budget and that type of thing. And then that becomes a little more of a longer play, where it's kind of the same thing with Sex Swing and things like that. So it's like with smaller ideas like the Google Trends show or whatever, for example. That's something we can just sit in front of a webcam and then type into Google Trends and have a show. So there are differences there. But the nice thing about it is that Rooster Teeth seems to be willing to want to do those larger projects too. So maybe one day we'll see Rooster Teeth.
Well, I was going to say, we're all missing the most important part, is whether or not Elise can come up with a punny title for the show.
Oh.
If she can't, then the show's a no-go.
it's gone.
I see what
it's
you're
gone.
doing. Don't roast me. I'm too sensitive.
We'll just praise you.
So candid. I come up with a lot of ideas in the shower, and I also look at other content, like old, new, like something that was 20 years ago. I was watching Big Fat Quiz of Everything, which is like a popular British quiz show, and I thought, man, it'd be awesome if Rooster Teeth did something like this. And had its own spin on it. So like, there are original ideas, but then sometimes it's just like looking at the inspiration around you, and that's not stealing or lifting ideas, but thinking it'd be nice to do something similar, but then put our own flavor to it.
What's a channel that you guys personally like outside of gaming or any other channels on YouTube?
Outside of gaming?
Outside of gaming. It can be gaming too.
Yeah, I think Vice is an amazing channel. There's always something amazing there. There's Primitive Technology is an amazing channel that's like so mellows me out, and it's so interesting to watch. Yeah, I don't know. But then also like on the gaming side of things, there's like, I think Maximilian has an amazing channel. I can't believe fighting games no one likes to watch, but he's managed to cultivate an audience that watches every single thing that he does, and it's always entertaining. So
I watch weird stuff.
Understatement.
It's not explicit YouTube because some of this stuff isn't allowed on YouTube, but like TV Carnage and Everything is Terrible, Memory Hole, just like weird, discarded, forgotten bits of media. There's a channel that uploads. People will send this dude VHS tapes, and then he'll digitize them and only cut out the commercials. And then he has, I think, about 450 10-minute videos of commercials from every decade, really. So sometimes I'll just watch those. You learn a lot about American culture through its advertising, so it's weird.
Gaming side, I really, really like Matt Pat's Game Theory. I think it's awesome. And I also really love Amy Poehler's Smart Girls at the Party. I've always thought that's pretty fantastic. Even when it used to just be her doing like vlogs, I just love Amy Poehler too.
I mean, like we've talked about it ad nauseum. Like we love like guys like Critical, groups like the Game Grumps, stuff like that. I personally enjoy TED Talks. Those are always fun. They make you feel smart even though you're not. And yeah, pretty much any infotainment I always like to consume. Just it's nice to learn. It's nice to feel like your brain's getting bigger from just watching a 10-minute video. It's always kind of nice.
One of the channels I watch all the time, and I'm sure all these guys watch too, is Mega 64. Those guys consistently crack me up, and it's one of those things that like it's very hard to find a good sketch channel on YouTube, and I think that they are definitely one of them. Every time I see a video of theirs, it makes me laugh.
One channel I know we all like in the office is Fail Army.
Oh yeah, yes.
Watch the new Fail every Friday to celebrate the coming of the weekend, and other than that, I don't know the stuff that. Expanded universe of the Overwatch stuff and all that's been coming out is really fun to keep up with too.
Yeah, have you been following like the Sombra stuff, like all the ARG? Like that's fun, and the fact that someone made like a cool 12-minute video about it, I was like, oh neat. I didn't have time to care.
I was gonna say,
what
yeah,
was
watching the
happening.
12-minute video is fun. I don't want to analyze this digital artifacts in the sky though.
Yeah.
Those game devs are probably the best trolls I've ever seen. Like,
That's true, yeah.
I want it to be like at the end. It's like actually there is no character. This is,
Oh no,
it's been just a
It's a spray.
fun-
It's a new spray.
Going to the next question. You guys live stream a lot. What do you guys prefer, or do you guys prefer both, live streaming or VOD?
Well, live streaming is tough because for us, it's so not only do the formats of the games we play just not work sometimes. If it's sub 480p, which some of the old games we play are, the hardware to pick that stuff up is getting harder and harder to find. And then sometimes we do things that aren't stream friendly, and maybe take an editing pass to make it a little more suitable for a viewing audience. So that makes live streaming difficult as well. But God bless them, and also the people in chat. I'm sure they're well-meaning, but if any one thing is wrong, they will not shut up about it ever. So there are a number of things that make it more challenging to live stream, particularly when VOD is kind of our bread and butter. But we still do it because we like engaging with people, and they ask for it, so we want to give that to them.
We want to live stream more, and that's sort of, I think our goal in the coming months is to, like Achievement Hunter's been doing a really cool multicam live stream. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with them, but that's really awesome, and it's something like Adam was always talking about. We play Overwatch pretty much at the end of the day, almost every single day. So if we just live stream us playing Overwatch at 6 p.m. Pacific every day, then hopefully people will watch it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, it's a different mentality too, like Lawrence is talking about there. Like when we do VOD, we have to, like that Vin Diesel video, that's just us sitting around making each other laugh. If we're focused on chat and someone saying like, oh, Lawrence, there's something in your hair, and then that, it's like you have to be in a different mindset. It's almost like when you're live streaming, you're more like a stripper, and you're constantly, or a waiter, and you're trying to like appease people, and you're trying to be like, what can I do better? How can I do this? We have a different mindset where we're like, well, we need to ignore that because we need to make a video, or 2 videos. So typically we ignore chat, but that's not to say, like, I think we want to do more live streaming where we do interact with the audience, and then you don't see a VOD of that. And so it becomes more special.
I was gonna say, we've done a couple of those things that have been extremely successful. We find them to be funny, and they're like we did a 50-hour live stream not too long ago. Where we just let it run when we were not in the office because we were playing
Totally accurate battle.
Totally accurate battle simulator. And we got into a stalemate between 2 opposing forces, and it was just shooting stuff back and forth, and it was just going to go on forever. So we were like, let's let it go on forever. But that was fun because then we would occasionally go over and we'd change the background music to like a horrible Sonic song or something like that, and then we'd all go back to our desks and then look at the chat and just go like, no. So there's some awesome stuff that happens. I guess one time overnight, none of us were there, but overnight the chat managed to write all of the dialogue to B-movie. Wow. I don't know why, but they managed to do it like in chat, and it was like one of those kinds of like, like chat plays Pokemon kind of things, except that ours is dumber. So that kind of stuff, those kinds of like experiments are like awesome, and that can only happen in a live streaming scenario.
I think live streaming is really exciting. There's an exciting aspect to it being real time. But I have to say personally, because I edit a lot of videos, I do prefer the VOD just because like they are super funny and they make me laugh a lot.
She's funny too. Ellie's funny
They make me laugh a lot when I'm editing the videos. But then my goal is always trying to do something in an edit to make them laugh. That's like unrelated to what they're doing, and I just enjoy that, and I get a satisfaction from that. So that's just my thing. But I do hope we stream more because it is fun.
Yeah, most of us, like Elise said, we're more well-versed in VOD. That's just what we've been doing for years and years and years. So live streaming is a little more of a new world to us. I don't know if you guys saw the drunk E3 stream that we did, but that was a thing that will probably never turn into a video. So we're trying to do those more.
There's I don't know if anyone watches On Cinema. It's Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington do movie reviews. They did a live stream for the Oscars like 3 years ago, and it's hilarious. But the thing is, they had someone basically running the switcher, so that person was as funny as they were. And they were throwing up images, so Tim Heidecker would just be talking about something. He'd just throw up a picture of, like, the Hobbits from the Peter Jackson Hobbits movie, and it would make Tim and Greg laugh, like, and that kind of stuff is hilarious, but that requires a whole nother level of someone to be kind of thinking what you're thinking, but not communicating with you at all, and then interacting with your show that you're trying to put on. Stuff like that would be amazing, but we need to have a setup that allows us to do it, and then have someone at the control. Like, if we had, like, an Elise who was, like, queuing up images that she knew was going to, like, throw us off our game or make us laugh, that would be fantastic.
I don't know if you guys have been watching Dude Soup the last couple of weeks, but Lawrence has been manning a laptop during the stream, and he's actively, like, TDing and loading up images and video, and I think he's been doing, like, such a funny real-time job with it.
I've been pretty hands-off with it so far, but it is something we're going to experiment with. Ideally, we can get more people in the production, because right now it's just Omar, and he has to run between 2 rooms to, like, solve tech problems as they come up, which, God bless him, he works very hard. But if somehow those problems didn't happen, or we had another human being to be in there, then that person could queue up stuff over the program monitors too. So I think that's eventually where we're going to go, especially with stuff that we do out in the production space. But I think we can also do more intimate and weird things in our office when it comes to live streaming too.
Cool. You know, what's funny is, James, when you were talking about that 50 hours live stream, I actually texted Bruce saying, like, is everything okay?
He thought we left it on.
Don't worry.
There's a lot of people who kept asking, they're like, why would they do this? Because nothing is worse than the madness of not being able to have an answer to a question that's perplexing you. If you ever have that question, it's usually because it makes us laugh. That's why we're doing it.
Why are they streaming for 50 hours, and why is there a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog's dick? I wonder if they're okay.
Okay, this is going to be, I think, last 2 questions. Just to let you guys know, I think the last 15 minutes, we're going to leave it open for the floor for you guys to ask questions too. So what's one advice you give to new creators? I don't know if there are fans here who want to, become YouTubers, but what's the one advice you guys will give?
I mean, our big takeaway, like the kind of, I guess, the theme of it all is we've been trying to entertain ourselves since the beginning. Like, as friends and as coworkers, we've been trying to entertain ourselves. And I think that's where you start. So it doesn't have to be gaming. It doesn't even have to be comedy. If you like cross-stitching and that's what you enjoy, then that's what you can pursue on YouTube, and you may find an audience that loves it just as much as you, but what they're really going to love is your enjoyment of that thing. And I think it's plain to see that in all of our content, we're enjoying each other's company, and we're enjoying making each other laugh. And whether or not you know it, I think that's why you watch. I don't think you watch GTA because you want us to talk about Vin Diesel or you want us to win a GTA race. I think most people like watching us have fun with each other and have a good time and just have friends, Adam's called it a friend simulator pretty often, and it is.
Well,
but
4chan called it the friendship simulator. And I was like, they're right.
Good old Chan.
Yeah, but I think that's where you start. Like, you figure out what's something that, like, you would be doing anyway, and then you turn on a camera.
I want to hear Matt Peak. I want to hear your piece of advice.
Well, it's pretty much, what James just said is a beautiful thing about our species is everyone is unique. So, you sort of being natural at whatever you want to portray is what people are drawn to. So, I would say, start there, absolutely. But then, also realize that it's going to be, I guess, depending on how much you do it as a full-time job, it's going to be work too. So be honest with yourself about how that starts to feel as you get into it.
Like Matt was saying, be honest with yourself about what you're capable of. I'd say find like a creation and upload schedule that is manageable and you can do consistently. Because it's like, going to the gym and working out. If you can get past that like initial 6-week hump where you're doing it consistently, regularly, you can do that with YouTube. Don't be the failed how-to Muppet channel that posted 4 videos and then doesn't have time to make Muppet videos anymore.
In your defense, I was say, in your defense, we do have another channel that we work on a lot.
What's that?
It's called FunHaus.
And the no, and Let's Play.
Yeah.
And the interior of a GameStop.
Oh yeah, we make GameStop
GameStop
videos.
I guess I consider my me now. I consider my presence here to be mostly brute force, namely that before I had any kind of skill, I just kind of hammered my head against it. Work ethic was kind of the thing that I considered my virtue, and in that regard, if you're just starting out or you're kind of taking steps towards where you want to go, you may not end up there, but you may end up somewhere else that's better. So when I was a kid, I would read magazines, and I was like, that's the coolest thing in the world. There's no better job than that. I'm going to write for a gaming magazine. But by the time I got to the age and had the experience level where I could do that, there weren't any magazines left.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, so, but I ended up writing a YouTube gaming news show, and now I get to work on all sorts of things. And along the way, I learned editing. I learned how to not be reprehensible on camera. Baby steps every day. But I never thought that that's what I would do, or those were the skills that I would need, but along the way I had to continuously reevaluate the landscape, what was feasible and what wasn't, and what skills were marketable and what wasn't. And I had to learn what I needed to learn along the way. So just because maybe now you want to be a YouTube or content creator in 15 years, landscape may be entirely different then, but it's the process and figuring out where you want to go and constantly adjusting your trajectory along the way.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest piece of advice is just take ego out of it. Don't think you're better than anyone else. Just realize it's all a fair playing field, and if you're having fun, you're having fun. And if that makes someone else upset, whatever. That's their ego getting in the way of what they want to do. Especially if you're working in a group dynamic, you should never think you're better than anyone else. That's what kills groups.
YouTube's a big place too, so if, like Adam said, if somebody's upset at what you're making, they can just move on. They'll move on to something else because there are billions of people on YouTube.
Or they'll keep watching and leaving the same comment and complaining because they just don't care.
I was gonna say, which are my favorite kind of people though, because they're sticking around, they're watching our content, so really they like us.
Yeah.
So to summarize, love what you do, be flexible, upload regularly, and engage with the community.
Yeah.
Cool. Last question from me.
It's easy.
What's next for FunHaus?
Oh boy.
Lunch.
That's why we pay her the big bucks.
Answer it seriously. Sex swing.
Sex Swing is next.
Yeah, that's our big thing right now.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you've Dungeons and Dragons, but we're gonna hopefully continue that more past the 10 episodes that
Can we talk about our idea we had when we were doing our nature walk yesterday?
Which one?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things is when we just hang out, we come up with ideas and we do dumb stuff. And Lawrence had a bit
Where where Lawrence was like, man, it would be awesome to sit on a bench and get really high. And we're like, Lawrence, you are high right now.
Washington State's great.
I think it was the bit. He describes things. It would be great if I could like touch this rock and then I could see
Where it
everything
came
that
from.
rock did. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's ripping something off.
It was the most useless X-Man, essentially.
You touched clothes. You can see where the clothes had been.
Oh, I drank that 5 minutes ago. Like, you basically, when you touch something, you learn about its origin and its terminal. Like, so it was like there was just a shirt on the ground, and you know there's like one shoe. You're like, what the fuck? Or like
found
half a piece of underwear.
I went to the bathroom in the convention center yesterday, and there was just a pair of jeans on the ground. It looked like someone had pulled them off and then just sprinted out of there.
So it's like the mysteries of the universe would be laid bare to one man who can touch those jeans and go, he shit himself.
Except it's everything he touches, right? So like he puts his hand on a rock and he's like, it's been here for 1,000 years.
So I was thinking we could just make 20-second shorts of it. So it touches a kid. Truck driver
right
ate
now
it.
it's passing the laugh test because we're still laughing about it.
So honestly, our ideal future for FunHaus is we could just take the things that make us laugh like this, but then actually do them.
Problem is we're tapped out.
Yeah,
we have no bandwidth to take on more projects, and even if we did, we would take on so much that we would be full up again. So.
Yeah.
Well, there's Let's Play Live, New York.
That's the thing. One of the amazing things about Rooster Teeth is they are like, we think you guys are cool, and we want to share these cool things with you. But then that means that we're doing those cool things too. So, stuff like Let's Play Live, amazing opportunities, but every single day that we are not in the office is time that we can't work on our stuff. And then we have Sex Swing, which is also happening alongside keeping up as many videos as we can. It's just like, I don't know. Who knows? We're going to shutter the doors in 3 weeks.
Fair
Too
enough.
tired.
All right, so we have 14 minutes left. We have 2 microphones here. If you guys want to line up, we can get some questions from the
Everyone looks so
crowd.
sad as they approach the mic.
Shoulders
It's early. And
It's
raining.
early, yeah. It's early in the morning. I understand.
early.
It's the rain.
That's,
I
yeah,
get it.
everyone's
I
depressed.
didn't realize it actually rains a lot in Seattle.
Yeah, yes, it does, John.
That was
John's from
lucky.
California, I think.
How about we start here? Is that on?
It may not be. Just shout. We can hear you.
Yeah, tell us your name and
There we
what
go.
question you have.
So my name's Charlie. What's up, guys?
Hello, Charlie.
I guess this is more geared towards Lawrence, but I just wondered. I didn't really have a question prepared. Sorry, but are you ever gonna get back in a laptop again?
I mean, there's no real reason for it. So, that was a trope because I was not living in California when we started that, and then I moved back to California. We kept doing it because it worked, and then when we went to Rooster Teeth, we stopped doing it because we didn't want Machinima to sue us. So, the wording is vague, but essentially we could not make any content that was too similar to what we had made because Machinima owns the properties to that. So if we did another show where I was still on a laptop and that was the gimmick of it, it would be too similar. At this point, I mean...
The question was
think we're
pretty
out of
much,
the woods, but-
can we see less of your face?
I know.
Which I say,
Screw you.
he has a beautiful face. and he's
People
just
ask
got
that a
new
lot, and that's
haircut.
how I always hear it. It's like, I don't want to look at you.
Yeah, we all get to see Lawrence now.
Yeah.
I like seeing Lawrence.
He's funny.
I like him too. He's cool.
I photoshopped
good.
his
Thank you.
face into a Titan. It
That was
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I want to frame that. That was good.
Really good, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, essentially, it was a logistical thing that we turned into a creative element, but now we either can't or won't use it because we don't want to get sued.
Fair enough.
They're
Thank you.
not watching.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Hi, I'm Shannon, and I like seeing Lawrence on screen.
Thank you.
We all do.
Now that your brand has taken off, do you guys feel like celebrities, and does that impact your daily life?
Has it taken off?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, like, it's fantastic that we have 1 million subscribers and that you guys are here. We consider famous people like Tom Cruise.
And only Tom Cruise.
And mainly Tom Cruise. Because, like, he's one of those people that literally everybody will recognize, right? And I don't think we consider ourselves famous.
G-list celebrities gaming.
I compare us to that of a baseball mascot. So like you go, I kind of know that thing. Yeah, it's a pirate, and then like that's us.
Where does Vin Diesel fit into it?
Triple A list.
Yeah, he's
Triple
all
X
the way up.
list, actually.
So I won't
enough.
spoil it, but we do want a very specific celebrity for one of our episodes of Sex Swing.
Celebrity in the truest sense of the
Yeah,
word.
and someone said like, well, what if we can't get him to do the voice? Are you okay with this? Like other person who's like, as long as he can play that guy, and they're like, oh, you just really like that actor? We're like, yeah, he's great. I won't say who because it's funny.
Over here.
Hey, name's Ricardo. I love everything y'all do. I did have a question with your guys' sponsorships with Casper.com/dudesoup or myundies.com/dudesoup. What kind of notes do you guys get back from the sponsor? Because you guys have some interesting lead-ins and lead-outs afterwards.
You're right. Bizarrely, there's not a whole lot of information that comes back. So I don't know to what extent the sponsors actually review what they essentially call an air check, which is you chop out the ad read and send it back so they can view it. Never gotten any negativity back. The only negativity I've ever heard is when the traffic on the referral link is low. So to a degree, I think sponsors don't explicitly care as long as you say what they want you to say. They don't really care about anything else around that. And it's just me speculating, purely based on the fact that I've really gotten nothing back. But all they want is for viewers to go to that referral link and give them money. And if me being foul as hell causes that to happen, they are A-okay with it, I promise you. So it's either been feedback that the click-throughs have been kind of low, or feedback that we got a lot of click-throughs we're going to be renewing for quite a while. Those are the only two things I ever hear. It's never subjective feedback about the quality of the read.
The hope is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the hope is too that before they say, yes, we want to be a sponsor, they are at least introduced to what the content is, so that way they can understand that it's going to fit within this realm, as opposed to them just like clicking a check mark on a graph and never actually seeing anything. That's the hope.
Maybe. I think we're sold in aggregate with a bunch of other podcasts, and we're just inventory. And if we push, again, just pure speculation, but it seems like if we push a disproportionate amount of traffic to our link based on our viewership size, then we get renewed. It just seems like there's a whole lot of money in podcasting, and podcast advertising is a lot more formalized than like influencer advertising. So it feels a little less personal in that degree, which is good because I say some weird stuff about sponsors, and they seem to not mind. At least I haven't heard anything. And most of our sponsors renew, so that seems like everything's working.
Awesome.
I didn't know that. I learned something today. That's really cool.
Good question. Thanks.
Next question over there.
Hi, I'm Nicole. 2 quick questions. You guys talked about on the comment show volleyball. Can I be on your volleyball team?
Absolutely. Well, are you good?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Varsity right side.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah. And then Elise, where'd you get your Forever Salty shirt?
Oh, so it's actually a Billabong shirt because I love the ocean. But then I thought it was a really funny shirt because it's like forever salty.
That's
like
amazing.
I am.
I love that shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, Billabong. Billabong.
See you on the beach.
There you go.
Over here.
That's a dumb name.
All right, hi guys, I'm Henry.
Hello, Henry.
I remember you guys from the last PAX. You guys were great. You guys are awesome. I have a question for you guys, and you guys are all really great friends and everything like that, but as we all know, with your great friends, you usually run into those occasions where you sometimes just want to shake them, you just want to grab them and just,
Like a baby?
No. Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. Have you guys ever ran into that occasion? And could you go into detail about like how you guys maybe, made up or anything like that?
Have you ever seen our videos before?
Yeah, so you guys argue all the
Like,
time.
we yell at- yeah.
You guys argue all the time, but I can't ever really get the feel that you guys are actually taking that seriously.
I mean, you played games with your friends, right?
Yeah, of course.
Have you ever gotten angry at your friends when playing video games? That's what happens.
Okay.
That's what happens. I mean, like, I feel like we don't disagree very much on, like, the important things.
Yeah.
But, like, when it comes to video games or whatever, usually people get upset.
We only got, I only saw any, anger over real stuff when Joel was working with us, because, he and Bruce would argue about, the climate. And I was like, there's no solution.
We did that once.
Yeah.
But it went for a while.
Yeah, it went for a while.
I think part of it too, well, first of all, no one's ever argued with Matt Peak, I don't think. Right? Has anyone ever had an argument with Matt Peak?
I don't know how you could.
Not really.
Yeah.
But I think part of it too is that we have to see each other tomorrow. Like we have to. And I think what really destroys friendships is separation. You get into an argument and you're like, well, I'm not calling them. I'm not calling them. And then you never speak and then it just sits there and it festers. We just have to come in tomorrow. So if we play a game and at the end of this Overwatch match, we're shouting at each other and then we go home, doesn't matter. We have to come back in the morning tomorrow and then we have to work together. And then it's ultimately diffused because we realize that meant nothing, So.
Well, there'd be moments too, in GTA videos where Bruce is trying to sabotage everything we've built.
That's funny.
That's funny. Well, in the moment, it's like,
but yeah, it's frustrating.
I am so frustrated now. But then we have the benefit of seeing the end result. And I'm like, that is funny. Bruce was creating comedy.
Yeah.
And it does anger some people,
it's great.
in the comments and stuff.
It's
and
really
Bruce
great.
thrives
I love the
on
comments
it.
so
So
much.
guess what? You're just making the monster more powerful.
All right, thanks guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over there.
Hi, my name is Jonathan. With the new TOS things that YouTube has apparently just implemented, how do you think it's going to affect your channel? Does this mean no more
We
Rule
put a
34
video up
channel?
today called Sonic Makes You Cream.
So it hasn't really affected us yet.
I don't think they're new.
They're not really
Yeah,
new.
they're not new either. I guess it's just a crackdown. So, please forgive me if I'm wrong, but the way I interpret the direction that they want to take it is they want to disincentivize antagonism and rumor mongering, which works, like tabloid stuff. It works and people watch it. And if people can make money off of it, they'll do that. But if you take that money away, who's going to make that media for the love of the media? Nobody's doing that. I mean, maybe somebody is because they just love YouTube drama that much. But I agree with that much. And in that regard, we don't do that. We make content that is crass, but that's different from being antagonistic and whipping people into a frenzy and sending them off to a target. What we do is we just make some off-color jokes. And I think that, again, reading into the spirit, and even though you work at YouTube, so you can address this much more clearly than I could, if you want to. But what it means to me is, just because content's crass doesn't mean that it's damaging. And to me, it appears that that other kind of content is damaging. And people can make it if they want, free speech and all. Maybe just can't earn money off of it, because that seems a little immoral.
Also, people don't know what the definition of censorship is. So that's another thing too. I think people get outraged at a lot of things. I mean, you can feel however you feel, but the only thing, we've had a couple talks since everything kind of happened last week, and we're like, I mean, as far as our content, the only thing this might change is we probably won't name a video baby butt fucker. Like, we'll call it baby butt grabber or something like something else. You
Butt
know?
lover.
Like,
Yeah,
butt lover. There we go. Like,
Allows
we
us
maybe
to be
won't
creative.
ask for it. We won't like, you know.
I guess also too, we were talking about this yesterday because we're all getting older, and I'm starting to understand why old people are always so upset, because everything that has happened before will happen again, you know, sort of thing. It's always cycles. And so like everyone forgot when they got mad about YouTube Red 6 months ago, and they're like, oh yeah, YouTube Red's great. Like, I'm enjoying it. Like us as creators get paid on it, and then you guys were already paying for it. And
A
you enjoy
lot
it.
more than ad revenue.
Everyone
But-
forgot when YouTube created ads. And then now they're like upset that there aren't going to be ads. So it's like, you know.
Well, I guess the other thing there too is, and it's something we've preached, YouTube is a tool, it's a platform, it's a fantastic platform, and the tools are amazing, but you don't own it. We don't own it. Google owns it. And it's like, you have to always remember that you're working with someone who's helping you. So you have to play by their rules because it's their terms of service, not ours. And I think what happens is you get so used to a tool that works so well that you get upset when something changes or anything like that. But then you see all the people start saying like, well, we need an alternative. And it's like, well, you could, but ultimately people are going to go to YouTube because this is like the future of media. Everything is on YouTube.
It's kind of a good lesson because you have to work with somebody.
Yeah.
You have to work, you have to work with somebody in order to get your exposure. Otherwise, just go create your own video platform.
Good
you
luck.
know?
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time too, Rooster Teeth is a very smart company, and they, we have an alternative website, and it's like, a good business diversifies, and so you work in different avenues. We work really well with YouTube because YouTube's awesome. We have a website, and that website's awesome. It's still being worked on, stuff like that. But then like there's other avenues like Snapchat, Twitter. Twitter's now monetizing, which is like pretty cool. As a creator, as a business, just be smart. Try to, like I said, diversify, synergize, and all that other mumbo jumbo BS. But like I said in the very beginning, it's like it's an ever-changing business, so stay liquid and try to keep up with the times, and don't shake your stick at people because you don't get it.
John, we don't want to speak for you, so I don't know if there's anything you want to add, or it's up to you.
Yeah, I think for the terms of service, I know there's a lot of conversation. It's actually not change of a policy. It's more of a awareness to creators. If their video happened to be violating one of our policies, it's more surfacing that and giving transparency. We've heard a lot about people asking about transparency, so this was the change that was made. So the policy remains the same. So for the content that FunHaus continues to produce, it's going to be the same.
Yeah, John and I had a conversation about this weeks ago before this all came out, and I was asking him, I was like, what are the specifics so that I can avoid them? I want to know how to not do these things that YouTube doesn't like.
Rule 34.
And I was actually really happy that I saw more specifics now, because now I'm like, okay, cool. So now I kind of know what to avoid a little more. I know a lot of other people got upset, but I was like glad to see more specifics.
Yeah, I think that's also all the time we have today. So thank you. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you all.